Hi, I'm Lisa, the ukulele fool. I'm here with Richard Cisneros.
Oh.
Yes, and we're at the Brown County Ukulele Festival, and he performed last night, and he does not. Let's put it this way: you deliver every time I've heard you perform. It's hysterical, it's professional. I love it.
Thank you.
He's got superpowers. I'm going to have him talk a little bit about his ukulele superpowers.
Oh, ukulele superpowers. Okay. I was going to say sarcasm is my greatest superpower, but this is more about songwriting and creativity,
Yeah.
isn't it? I think probably my superpower is to keep it simple. There's nothing that really needs to be complex about songwriting. It just is something that, if you want to describe something, any kind of action that's going on in the song or telling a part of a story, just be as simple and direct as possible. And if you're like me and you like to interject a lot of humor, then you take the ordinary and somehow make it ridiculous.
Well, I just his song last night, Dinosaurs, and I think that was kids would like that.
Well, it's called the Dinosaur Song, and typically when I introduce it, I say it's not educational. If you learn anything from it, that means I've done it wrong. Yeah, that song was years and years in the making. Little did I know. So. In it, I do this hideous cry, in which I jab my neck and screech start at a low volume and screech at a very high volume. But before that, there comes the description of the pterodactyl, which was born of working at a place in Cincinnati that had a bowling alley across the street with a lounge upstairs where you could get drinks. They had this huge banner that said Jägermeister on it. And this picture of this guy holding it, and it said "so smooth," but the guy was like this Eastern European looking guy. He had this big bushy mustache, and he was making the worst face. He's like wincing as he's holding this. So of course we had to drink it.
Right.
But before we did that, we did the toast, which was the pterodactyl, and before we would actually drink, we'd make that sound. So imagine 5 or 6 guys and 2 or 3 girls sitting around a table doing that sound that I made. We're all doing it. So the toast had to be developed, and that's one of those things that I sort of just like over the years kind of like, how can I make this more elaborate? So when I wrote the Dinosaur Song, it just, that thing from my past just naturally fell in there.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. Am I being descriptive about any of this?
I'm
is there
fascinated
anything
by what
anybody
you have to
can
say.
glean out of this?
Well, here's a question for you: is why the ukulele?
I was a hand drummer professionally in Cincinnati for about 12 years. Owned every drum on the planet, and I got a gift card for Christmas one year to the music store, and I said, I don't need another drum. I'm going to buy something else. And I've been eyeballing the ukes for about a year actually. So I said, I finally took the plunge. I have that one, and I was scared to death it would sit in the corner and collect dust. So I bought a tuner because I didn't want to be slaved in with, these people that got this ear that can hear all these different pitches. I didn't know if I was that guy anyway. I kind of sort of am, but I still rely on the tuner a lot. Then I went out and bought a book. I said, I'm not going to, I was just, once again, scared to death I was just going to sit there and collect dust. So I said, well, I'm going to learn how to play this thing. Didn't really understand the book. Got on one of the YouTube channels and found a short little lesson, and I'm like, oh, well, that's it, And started playing songs from my childhood. I grew up in Catholic school, so we sang a lot of old frontier songs. Oh Susanna, Darling
Mhm,
Clementine, you know, she'll be coming around the mountain.
I went to public school and we did that too.
Yeah. And you didn't have a big nun standing over you ready to
Right.
whack you with a ruler, though. That's the
No.
difference. If you didn't sing. So in that book, where you know, it's the Yellow Book, or the Old Testament, if you want to call it that. It's it just is one of those things where there's at least a dozen songs in here that I already know. In my head, I already know them. It's just a matter of accompanying that with the ukulele. So I took it everywhere I went. My hands were stuck to it all the time. Played it on breaks at work. If I was going out with, you know, family, or friends, I'd be strumming it, you know, outside. You know, if you're an outside person, buy your uke in the summertime, where you can sit outside and play it, you know, all day and all night. If you're an inside person, it doesn't matter when you buy it. You know, you buy it whenever you want, because you know, sitting inside and playing it is just as good. But where was I? That's
Well,
a lot
why
of
the
stuff.
ukulele? Yeah.
Why? Well, once I started getting, you know, some songs down, it just kept snowballing and snowballing, and within the space of a couple of years, I'd met other ukulele players, and everybody is so fantastic in the ukulele community.
That is absolutely correct.
Everybody's your friend, you know. Everybody, you know. I don't know if you've ever met a guitar player with his guitar out, and you say, "Can I see that?" And they just won't let you have their guitar. Like, no, I don't want you to touch it. You can't. Don't even look at it. You know, you don't.
Right.
You're breathing a little too much
I've
near
had
it.
people do that with hand drums too.
Yeah, hand drums. Well, I was a hand drummer, and there's some people that are you know, really about the sacredness of the hand drum. And to me, part of the sacredness of a hand drum is that you can hand it to anybody. And the ukulele is the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you meet another ukulele player and you're like, "Oh, that's cool," you know,
Here, try it.
99 times out of 100, they're going to hand it to you and say, "Here." And a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to touch it. They're so used to that guitar player sort of like mythic, you know, where you don't touch someone else's axe or something like that. You know, that they don't want to touch it. But I mean, there's oftentimes I've had to insist that somebody take the ukulele
Right,
and try
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And eventually they do. But so it just continues to snowball. The community is fantastic.
It is. It's awesome.
it's-
Come to a ukulele festival. This is, you know, it's great.
Yeah, it's mystical in some way. When, you know, nobody really talks about it because we don't have to.
We have nothing to prove.
I'm talking about it now because I'm telling you guys out there about it. But yeah, so that's why the ukulele. And you know, when I was a hand drummer, I worked a lot for tribal belly dancers. You know, played a lot of what can be referred to as American tribal music. Even in that so-called community, I mean, community building was a huge thing for a lot of those kinds of people, and it never really happened or sparked in the same way it does with the ukulele. It's phenomenal, is what it is.
It is. It is phenomenal.
Good song
And-
last night. I really liked it.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for sharing your talents with the ukulele community, talking about it here for my YouTube channel. You know, I hope to be able to play with you some more.
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
And Alan Thornton is doing a workshop on songwriting right down in the woodland room here. And he wants me to come on and do some of the wrestling song.
Uh-huh.
so that-
Oh,
So that people can understand what it means to write a chorus in a song.
Right. Very good. Well, his songs are awesome. You need to get them on a CD. You need to get them out there because you're going to want to hear his songs. They're fabulous, and his delivery's awesome. So until next time, I'm going to sign off. So till the next interview. I hope you found this Ukulele Superheroes interview inspiring. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. I always have a philanthropic endeavor as part of my Patreon efforts. You can see my current goal and maybe consider contributing to that. Thank you so much.